Good evening, everyone. Welcome to the Transfer Exchange Show. We are here to preview probably the biggest game of the tournament so far, Germany versus France. With me, I'm delighted to be joined by Chief Scout, Mr. Steve K. Steve, how you doing?
How you doing, Jerome? Really looking forward to this one. Absolutely buzzing.
Yeah,
Can't wait.
yeah. And if you're buzzing, Steve, I can't imagine how Marie feels, our German expert, Marie. Marie, how are you tonight? You okay?
Feeling wonderful. And I should say that being a Germany expert also kind of makes me a France expert because so many of the French players play for Bayern Munich now. So it's kind of like a homecoming for them tonight.
Yeah. Wow. You've got you've got some sort of insider knowledge of some of these players. So Marie, firstly, how are you feeling? Are you nervous ahead of the game? Are you feeling quite confident?
I think it's kind of open arms, so to speak. I'm quite happy with Germany's lineup. I saw that Löw has indeed decided to play Kimmich on the wings, so as a kind of right wing back, which I think makes sense given the limited options in that area and the great options in central midfield. So to have Kimmich, Gündoğan and Kroos on the pitch at the same time, with Goretzka still being injured and not quite ready for this game, I mean, that's so much luxury and will really help cushion some of the blows that France has in attack. So what I expect is a very even game, and I do expect both of these teams to score. But I think, at least on paper and in recent history, I do think France is the stronger side and the side that is better equipped to play in this constellation. I mean, these are, with the exception of Benzema, whose absence, has been the subject of much debate. And now he's returned, but he's a very experienced player. With the exception of him, these are all players that have played with each other for years. So if I had to kind of jump the gun, because I'm sure that we'll get to this, but if I had to predict a scoreline, I would say France 2, Germany 1.
Come on, Marie. You got
I'm a journalist, Jerome. I'm a journalist.
Yeah, true.
Yeah,
true.
Fair enough.
That's very true.
I should add that I wrote an article before the last World Cup, which was 5 reasons why France is going to win the World Cup, and see how that turned out. Just saying.
That's it. Well, I hope for your sake your prediction doesn't come true.
Yeah, I mean, this time I think, so I didn't write an article, but just to drop this in here for any English listeners, this time I actually think England is going to win the whole thing.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Steve is like, you have been demoted from being an expert.
even with our rubbish goalkeepers.
Not terrible. Like, they're not terrible.
Yeah.
Hopefully you won't need them too much.
Yeah, that's true. Very true.
Yeah. Steve, coming to you next. For me, I think the midfield battle in this game is going to be amazing. I mean, you've got Pogba and Kante up against sort of Kroos and Gundogan. That is, for the pure football fan, that's going to be amazing to watch, isn't it? That midfield battle.
It's the first thing I noticed. It's the first thing I looked at. I mean, when you look at the two sides, and even when you look at the bench, it's like sweets in a candy shop, isn't it?
Yeah.
You can just put your hands into the bag with all the names and just pull one out, and you're going to get a prize at the end of it. There's so much quality on show tonight. But yeah, I mean that's going to be a big area tonight, and whoever wins that battle could go on to win the game. I mean, you've got Kimmich, which Marie might be able to sort of go harp on, but I mean he can always move into that middle as well. I mean he can move across, so it can give him that little bit more protection, because they may need it with the with the forwards of what France have got. You know, from for the likes of Mbappe and Benzema and Griezmann, who's someone I don't think who's got a little bit of an Indian sign over Germany. He seems to score quite a lot of goals. I think he scored 2 against them in 2016 and then another 2 in 2018. But a lot of people were, they've said about Germany and they've said that maybe this isn't their year. I don't agree with that. Yes, it would have been a lot better if they had Goretzka playing tonight. You could say, I was going to say it could be a free hit for both of them tonight, but you've got Portugal in the group, who we've just watched, who look pretty good. But so exciting! Midfield, forwards, all over the pitch.
Yeah, Marie, there's a player for Germany tonight who's starting that some football fans might not be too aware of. A guy called Robin Gosens. I don't know if I've pronounced that correctly. What's he all about? What's he like as a player?
Oh, he's fantastic. He has a wonderful story. So he actually, which is very rare, right now, like if you're a talented 7-year-old, the professional clubs in your area are going to know about you. And Gosens kind of, the same thing happened to Jonas Hector as well, who didn't make Germany's squad this time around. But Gosens played amateur football until he was about 20. So he wasn't in any big academy or anything like that. And then he earned a jump to the Eredivisie. So he played in the Netherlands, but also I think it was for Heracles Almelo. And he started with their second team. I mean, imagine playing for a Dutch team no one has ever heard of. Like, you wouldn't be able to show me on a map where that even is, for their second team. And then he earned his way into their first team, and then he earned a move to Atalanta Bergamo before they became the fairy tale story that we all know. And there he was one of the standout players. And he is really a very modern wing back. He provided a lot of assists this season and in the past season. Physical player, goes into the tackles. And, he has every right to be in the starting lineup. That's all I can say for his quality. He is of that quality. And I think he's happy at Atalanta, and, with them playing in Europe, that's all fair and well. But I think he's actually the type of player he is, the speed, the stature, the intelligence. I think he's destined to play Premier League football at some point. Very good player.
Nice. Amazing. Steve, one player that I've noticed isn't in the starting lineup for Germany, who everyone in England, he's really highly thought of. An incredible, exciting player when he was here is Sane from Man City. I've noticed he's not in the starting lineup. Are you? Marie might be able to tell us a bit later, but are you surprised that he's not starting tonight? Would you have liked to have seen him play?
I would have liked to have seen him play. I love watching Sane play. He's one of my favourite players, and he's so exciting. And I suppose to have him and Gnabry on the same pitch, would be great for the neutral watching. But I think for the for the way Joachim Löw's set his team up, I think it's right that he is on the bench with the team that he's put out. And I mean, looking at Germany's bench, I mean, they can bring on Sane, after 60 minutes if need to. They've got Timo Werner as well on the bench, and they've got Neuhaus as well, who they can bring on. So I'm sure we're going to see him at some point, during the game. But exciting player, excellent player. So I'm sure we'll see him at some time. But I can see the reason why he's not playing, because I don't know where you'd fit him in at the moment in this Germany side. Another thing I'd like to ask me as well. I'm looking at the side at the moment, and where do you think they'll play Kimmich? I mean, will they play him as a 4? Will they play him as a wing back, or how would they set him up? Set Germany up?
Yeah, I think against the quality sides, and this is a very, very tough group, I think they'll play him at right wing back. Just, when the opposing team has very good forwards, I see him playing in that role because he's just by far Löw's best option in that position. In against lesser teams, so maybe against Hungary, we'll see him playing in central midfield in that Bayern Munich partnership with Leon Goretzka, especially if Leon Goretzka returns to full fitness. I could see like a 3-man midfield there, perhaps with Kroos or Gündoğan. But for the time being, playing him as wingback is the best way to get him and 2 out of Kroos, Gündoğan, and Goretzka into the starting lineup and have that quality, while also having the most quality available in that such an important position. Because playing against the opposing team's left winger, Germany has very little depth there. So even though he doesn't play that position for his club team anymore, it's kind of like a emergency. It's an emergency position that he's taken on there.
Marie, in terms of France, obviously a lot of people's favourites to win the whole tournament. How do you think Germany going to go about sort of trying to keep obviously their star man Mbappe and Benzema as well? How do you think they'll try and keep them quiet? Will there be any special plan for them at all, or is that not the way that Germany would approach the game? They'll just try and play their way?
Yeah, I think it's hard to tell. I mean, Joachim Löw has done that sometimes. He's sometimes adapted to very, very strong opponents by, with some kind of surprise move. If we knew that something's going to happen and we now had to predict what that would be, one guess of mine would be that I could see Antonio Rüdiger perhaps being deployed to kind of man-mark Mbappe or prevent him making those runs behind the back line, because Ginter and Hummels, Hummels has really slowed down with age. He still makes up for it with his intelligence and his technique. Ginter is faster than he looks, but he's not going to win a sprinting duel with Kylian Mbappe. So I really think a lot will depend on Rüdiger to really neutralize the threat in front of goal there. And, you still have Manuel Neuer, who can always come out, run out of goal and, cut those corners, make the angle a bit more difficult. But I think the best thing for Germany to do would be to really rely on their own strength, try and keep the ball as far near the middle of the pitch or in the French half as they can. And they have the means to do so. This is a team filled with people of great technical ability who can keep the ball, shield the ball in small spaces. So, like you said, I mean, it's a absolute fest in midfield for both teams.
Yeah. Steve, I know Marie's obviously given us her prediction, which maybe at the end she might want to change, perhaps. But what are your thoughts? Where do you think this game's won and lost? What do you think the score will be?
This is the most difficult one so far that you've asked me to predict on. I've been thinking that this since about 6 o'clock this afternoon. What I was going to come on and give my prediction for. It's very hard. It's just I'm looking at the players again here. It's can Griezmann and Benzema and Mbappe are they going to win the battle of Rüdiger, Hummels and Ginter and the same up the other end? Is Gnabry, Muller and Havertz, are they going to break down Varane? What's his name? Kimpembe and Hernandez. It's just these names that you're just reading off. It's just you find it hard to see any of them to lose. France are on fantastic form at the moment. Germany are a little bit on and off, but I think they won 7-1, was it in their last game or the game before? So they're definitely coming into it in form.
Yeah, isn't that a scoreline that we like in Germany?
Yeah. I'm talking and talking, just trying to avoid to say a scoreline and hopefully someone else will interrupt.
Yeah.
Do you know what? I'm going to go for Germany. I think they might. I think they might just nick it because they just do.
Yeah.
And Laurie's he's prone for a little bit of a fumble every now and then.
Yeah, that's a good point. That's a good point.
So, and I don't think we're going to get that from Neuer. I've never known him to fumble ever. Even when he comes up to the halfway line, I've still never seen him make a fumble. And I'm still rattling on, and I'm going to go 2-1 Germany win.
Okay.
I'm going to go a 2-1 Germany win because I just think that France are prone to a tournament mess up every now and then, and I feel that Germany might just have the strength to do them.
Yeah, I mean, I think I read or saw Emmanuel Petit, the former French player, saying that, you know, France can sort of beat themselves because they might go into this game or the tournament maybe a bit too confident. And looking at all the players on display, I wouldn't be surprised with any score of this game. It could be anything. The quality that's on display, anything could happen in this game. And it's a shame that this game is happening so early, but because they're in the same group, we could get this game further down the line again.
Yeah.
In the semis or the final, perhaps. So yeah, fantastic spectacle it's going to be.
You're not getting out of it. Come on.
I was going to say.
Did you not? I thought I gave my prediction.
No, you swerved that very nicely.
Oh really? I thought I'd done one. I'm gonna. I think there's going to be a few. I'm going to go 2-2. I'm going to go 2-2. Right. Sit on the fence.
He's sitting on the fence.
And enjoy the game with a nice drink, and and yeah, just enjoy it. Jared's a big PSG fan. Reckons France 2-0. But yeah, look, kickoff's 20 odd minutes away, so I think we'll leave it there. Steve, thank you very much for your thoughts, as always.
Can I ask one more question? One more little battle between the three of us.
Yeah.
If you had to pick one player most likely to score a goal today, who would that be?
Oh, good one.
On either team.
On either team.
Every time I watch Gnabry play, he seems to score, so I'm going to go Gnabry.
Yeah.
Good shout.
Yeah. I mean, I was going to say the same. I was going to say Gnabry. He's yeah. I mean, out of me 2-1, I would have said possibly Gnabry and maybe sort of Hummels or Rudiger from a corner or something. Get his head to it with a Lloris fumble.
Yeah.
You know, when we come back after the game, I want to come in and say, look, he fumbled it.
But also, look, a guy we haven't mentioned, Muller, who's still going.
Right.
Yeah.
Like,
and he'll be super motivated. Yeah, having missed the.
Yeah. Are you surprised that he's starting, Muller, right?
You know what? I'm actually not, just because there's such a Bayern Munich core to this team, and he was perhaps, besides Lewandowski and Kimmich, Bayern Munich's most essential player in the last 2 years. So I think he's earned his spot on form, and in big games like this, I can't believe I'm saying this, because for the longest time he was like the cheeky upstart player, but now we're talking about a player who is actually very experienced and, kind of like statesman-like on this young team. So I think he deserves to start. But I think my most likely player to score in this game would have to be Benzema, for similar reasons, in that he'll be itching to prove himself, and he has very good players around him.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. And Drew to be a bit upset that he's not playing. He's only 5 goals away now from being France's ever leading goal scorer. So he'll, but I'm sure he'll get that in his career. But yeah. I'll just go for Mbappe for me France goal.
Cool.
But sure. And just before we go, just quick to people that are watching, a little bit extra. Rodrigo de Paul is just going to be signing for Atletico Madrid. just been confirmed.
Cool.
So
Nice.
sorry, Leeds. Sorry, Leeds fans.
No worries. No worries. Rightio. So yeah, Steve. Thanks again, Steve.
Pleasure, mate. Pleasure.
And Marie, some brilliant insight as always there.
Thanks.
into the Germany team. Thanks again, and we'll see you after the game. Fingers crossed for Marie and Germany for this one.
I've got my top on.
Yeah,
your white jersey. Very good. Very good. I'm wearing blue, so I need to go change now.
You've got to go and change. Definitely got to go and change.
Superb. Rightio. So from the three of us, we'll see you later on.
Yep.
See you later on.
Bye.
Bye.